Hey everyone, I'd like to start this video off real quick by introducing myself. My name is Joseph McNeal. I was born and raised in Central Alabama. I ain't going to give you this long sad story about my life, but much of it was undesirable. But what I'm going to talk about today is how Gracie Jiu-Jitsu changed my life for the better. It's made me become a more productive and just a better person that's on this journey of developing. I joined the Army at the age of 17, right after high school. I had never experienced any type of martial art, but what always motivated me to experience martial art was my imagination. When I was a kid, I used to play with action figures and watch Ninja Turtles. And of course, when I grew up, I wanted to be a Power Ranger, you know. When I was young, I did watch the first UFCs, and I watched Hoist. He just amazed me. I watched him. He defeated everyone in the early UFCs. He was a smaller guy. He wore a robe, and he was defeating everyone. And you know, we all had the mentality that whoever was bigger, faster, and stronger would have the advantage. Well, he proved that wrong back then. The first time I physically experienced martial art is when I went through the basic combatives course in the Army. And to come to find out, the Army's combatives course is based off Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. And despite being extremely interested after I went through the course, I wasn't able to start training due to life situations. I mean, I was going through rapid deployments, and being a full-time soldier and a full-time student, it was not possible at that time for me to really train. And I hadn't tasted it enough or experienced it enough to really decide to make it a top priority. But I took a turn one evening. I was on my way to Germany, and I was at an establishment back home in Alabama, and they were having an amateur MMA fight night there. And as I watched the fighters, and I was comparing what they were doing to what I'd learned in my training, and they were fighting ineffectively and inefficiently. They didn't understand the importance of dominant position and control and conserving energy. I mean, and that's whenever I was like, you know, I can do this. Even though I am starting late, I can do this because there's knowledge out there. I need to pursue it. As soon as I got to Germany, I decided to make training a top priority in my life. And I went through levels 2, 3, and 4 of the Modern Army Combatives program, and I started kickboxing. After another deployment, I started training with a guy named Dan Soto, who's my current coach. And on his Facebook page, there was a link where he liked Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and I followed around and some links and did some research, and it took me to the GracieUniversity.com website. And I didn't know that all this information was available online. And after I'd done a bunch of research, I just realized how much information and how much knowledge I was just gaining from the Gracies, from what they were offering on the website and what they were offering on YouTube. I decided to break down, and I purchased the Blue Belt / Combatives curriculum from them. Later on, to help improvise and expedite my training, I decided to buy some mats. I called them. I tried to buy some mats from Gracie University, the Gracie store, but they couldn't ship to Germany. So I had to compromise and buy from another retailer. So I got my mats. My training schedule suits me pretty well. I stay very busy, so first thing I do, I get up early in the mornings and I knock out my physical training. On my lunch break, I usually spend half of it at the gym with a friend. I'll bring in my laptop, throw in a DVD, and what we'll do is we'll train Gracie Jiu-Jitsu for about an hour during lunch break. After work, I'll go to the MMA dojo, and there we'll train MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. Again, it's ran by Dan Soto, and a lot of times, a lot of techniques we use are based from or come from Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. If I'm not traveling on the weekends, I'll have someone come over. We'll mat out my kitchen and we'll train for 2 to 5 hours. Train some Gracie Jiu-Jitsu for 2 to 5 hours. I got the DVDs. I got the whole curriculum, and that's a lot of information. Just to the blue belt, just to the blue, that's a lot of information. I can only imagine how much information and knowledge these guys have who make it black belts and degrees in the black belts. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu has also really changed my perspective on a lot of things. It's given me a broader knowledge on combatives, diet, jiu-jitsu, and even life. It's helped me become a better person by incorporating just healthier habits and staying active and always learning and developing. I now eat avocados thanks to Renner and the Rennergy Sandwich 2.0, and most of what I eat comes from the produce section of the grocery store. And Renner Gracie has educational videos online to teach you how to properly choose produce like fruits and vegetables, what's ripe, what's in season. He's got videos online to help you, pick and choose what foods to eat and all that good stuff. There's just an abundance of knowledge from these guys. And due to Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, I think about some situations differently. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is not just about fighting or grappling. There's way more to it than that. It's a philosophy that's based on knowledge and techniques that can be incorporated into many different aspects of life. It's helped me overcome some of the most hindering obstacles in my life. And besides being in a profession where many times it's dangerous and having to go on deployments and all that stuff, I would have to say that my hardest obstacle has been basal cell carcinoma. I'm 25 years young, but I've had 12 cases of basal cell carcinoma within the past year. Basal cell is the most common form of skin cancer. It really got me down, my morale down, and broke me down a little bit physically and mentally. But Gracie Jiu-Jitsu has helped me become extremely resilient to life's obstacles. In reality, in some situations, winning is not always an option. But you can never say never. But whenever I say Gracie Jiu-Jitsu has really made me resilient, it kind of goes back to what Rickson Gracie said. Rickson Gracie said winning's not everything. And it's not. But what's important is not being defeated. And to me, that right there, those are some deep words that I can relate to life's obstacles and fighting. It's about not being defeated. If you get into a jiu-jitsu match and you get beat terribly, you didn't get defeated. You learned from that experience. You gained something from it. You might get beat. You might step into the ring and get beat, but you don't get defeated if you gain something from it. And that's just in fighting. But you can relate that to life, not being defeated. And the way I look at that is I cannot let cancer defeat me in my journey, in my lifelong journey of growing and developing. I cannot let cancer defeat me. There's people out there with way more severe situations going on. There's blind people training Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. There's people in wheelchairs training Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. It's very inspirational whenever you see someone in a wheelchair, they train throwing cross-collar chokes from a wheelchair. And then when it's time to grapple on the ground, they get out their wheelchair. They can't use their legs, and they walk on their hands and go over and get in side control and start throwing submissions. And whenever they can't use their legs, they're in a wheelchair, and they train Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. So, really, I believe that being said, I think absolutely anyone, no matter your circumstance, your age, your strength, your size, anyone can train Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and I think it will help you. It'll help you out so much, because Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is way more than just self-defense. It's way more than just fighting. Just the philosophies behind it, the knowledge, the techniques of doing things. It will help you be a better, more productive person. I would like to say that my long-term goal is to get my black belt. That's my long-term goal. I have no final goal because I am dedicated to a lifelong experience with learning. So if I was to reach my black belt, then of course I go get my second degree or third degree black belt and things like that. But on this journey, I want to just become a better combative instructor and a better soldier. But what's most important to me is to be able to influence, motivate, and help others. I think that's the most rewarding aspect to me, is just to be able to motivate, influence, and help others. And I know that Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is very relevant to influencing and helping people. So, lastly, I just want to say, obviously, I want to win the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu vacation, but I'd like to say good luck to everyone who's trying to win. And for whoever does win, please take advantage of this lifetime opportunity and go to the Gracie Academy with full focus and learn as much as you can. The Gracies have been so influential to me, especially Rainer. I've never even met the guy, but I watch videos of him regularly, and I learn from him all kinds of things. He's very influential. Please go there and take full advantage of this opportunity. Please. Last but not least, I would like to say Happy New Year's, everyone, and best wishes. Keep it real.